I could ask Salima to comment a little bit on her experience. You know, in the rearview mirror, it's easy to say, yeah, I succeeded and I raised, $10,000 more than the goal. But it was probably not an easy journey the whole way through. So could you walk us through the entire process of establishing the crowdfunding campaign and some of the pivots or lessons learned along the way, and then offer any sort of thoughts on why you think it succeeded?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a bit of background on the solar-powered backpack. It's basically a solar backpack with a solar panel on it that attaches to an LED lamp. And I grew up in Kenya, and on average, kids there spend an hour each way walking to school. And so I thought, why not harness the power of the sun to allow kids to study through the night? Because kerosene lamps that they use right now are really detrimental to their health. They're not good for families who live under $1 a day because they spend 25% of their income on kerosene. I was actually in Kenya last month testing the prototypes, and a father said that he can only afford to buy kerosene for his kids 3 times a week, which means they only study three times a week. And that means that when kids don't study at night, they can't do their homework, and they don't make it into secondary school, which means that a lot of kids go into child prostitution and human trafficking. And I know girls younger than me who were forced into child prostitution because they didn't make it into secondary school. So I wanted to really find a solution to the problem, and I designed the prototype. And the reason I chose crowdfunding was because I believe that my objective wasn't just to raise money, but also to gain a community of people that would support me throughout the process. And I think that is one of the greatest benefits of crowdfunding. It's not just to raise $50,000, it's to gain 502 contributors who will vouch for you and who will be excited for your journey. I think the biggest reason for the success of the campaign was involving them in each step of the way and making them feel like they were a part of the success of the campaign. And I would highly recommend that for anyone who's planning to launch a crowdfunding campaign. I can't emphasize enough the power of social media. It's a free and easy way to just disseminate information, gain people's support from all around the world. I think at the end there were, 130 countries that had seen the campaign by the end of it. And it was just amazing to see how many people were sharing it on different sides of the world. And even on Twitter, I just tweeted it out to McGill and the mayor of Calgary and TED Talks. And before you knew it, it was just reaching so many different people. And then Forbes picked it up, and I didn't even know about it. And it appeared on Forbes last Saturday. And I had no idea how it even happened. The other thing is just creating a compelling video that breaks down the issue and really tells people why they should support you. And then also keeping them in the loop and updating the campaign, giving pictures, giving updates, giving videos to show that you are passionate about it and you are serious about it.
Ian, I've heard you say before that you are remarkably grateful for the life you've had the chance to lead, and as a result, feel a moral compulsion to give back to your community. In fundraising, they talk about the art and science of fundraising. And some of the art is done with, high art. It's exceptionally well done, and sometimes it's really terribly disappointing. Do you have any stories that come to mind that might offer as food for thought or lessons learned to some people in the room who may approach somebody for funds one day, but what to do or not to do that worked in your case or didn't?
Well, I think all of us who donate to various organizations are first and foremost upset when we make a small donation and then 2 weeks later another letter comes soliciting us. And I think, this is something that I think all fundraising organizations should be very conscious of. So, the waste of time and money and effort that goes into more and more letters and solicitations. But I think the fundraisers need to be very aware of the background of the individual as a potential donor to try to find out what might interest him or her in terms of supporting an idea. And I think doing research on a potential donor to find out exactly what's going to turn him or her on or off is a really important part of fundraising, and I'm sure you're aware of that.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Okay.
If we could turn the mic over to Rosalie. There's a lot of buzz about social finance and impact investing right now. So what is this all about?
Just to give you a bit of a background, or some size of comparison, in Canada right now we have over $1 trillion in mutual fund, traditional mutual fund alone. So if we were to take just 1% of those mutual fund, those investment, and take it and invest in impact investing, we would have over $11 billion at the service of social entrepreneurs and other projects. Now, maybe I'm dreaming because it won't be done that fast nor that easy. We need to build a full ecosystem in order to achieve what we call impact investing, and here comes the definition. So it's an investment made in a company, an organization, or funds with the intention to generate a measurable, beneficial social and environmental impact along a financial return. So that's the definition. And so you have the purpose. In this, you have three things. So the intention by the investor, the intention by the investee, and the fact that you're measuring the social outcome. Now, it seems easy to do, or easy to say, much harder to do, to measure the impact. That's the challenge that we're faced with right now.
So the J.W. McConnell Family Foundation is actually is often seen at the forefront of trends in the space of foundation work. What do you see that's picking up momentum right now within the plural sector that foundations could help support?
Well, I guess there are a couple of ways to answer this. First of all, just around the resourcing and the funding that we do. Traditional granting models are now being significantly disrupted by, you've mentioned impact investing. Our foundation is committed to reprofiling initially 10% of our endowment into investments that are related to our mission. And that's work of carefully moving those funds out of stock markets and into purposed investments is actually a very creative part of what we're doing these days. And I think other foundations are taking part now, along with an increasingly long list of partners. So we can, for example, now look at integrating our granting programs, granting into situations to create possibility that wasn't there, or to develop prototypes that we de-risk the process of sort of taking some chances, building models, and following on with impact investments that take those things to greater scale and allow for new partners to join in. So there's a whole reshaping of the philanthropic landscape just around that single idea. And I think attached to that, we're seeing the opportunity now for foundations to work together in funder collaboratives. We've either formed ourselves or joined collaboratives around everything from early child development to food to energy in the economy. And these collaboratives allow us to achieve greater geographic scale and spread. So, with a national foundation, we can work with now greater impact and visibility from coast to coast. And they also bring a diversity of talents and perspectives to what we're dealing with, really are complex issues. And so the ability to bring multiple perspectives to those issues just gives us so much more capability. And with that in place, we're now able to make a more compelling case to governments and to the private sector to join in funding this kind of work. So large-scale systems change, de-risking for government by taking a careful approach to prototyping new approaches, and with outcomes that are quite promising. So this is not just about the money, however, it's also about the processes and the relationships we build around this kind of work. So the notion of the plural sector, I think, implies for leaders from any part of these complex issues to recognize that collaborative, co-created work is really what we're being called upon to engage in now. And we've got some examples where we're learning very quickly that this is a brand new landscape, and we're seeing lots of interest in working at scale, at different levels of scale, from a very diverse range of partners.
So I'd like to thank Ian and Rosalie and Stephen and Salima for being here as part of the resourcing session of our MOOC. Thank you very much.